Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bite-Sized Moments with AJ. Today we are going to be talking about schema or markup data. All of this information is available on schema.org if you would like to learn more. So I'm sure you're familiar with HTML. The HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and what HTML functions to do is to tell a browser how and what to display. So let's say you title a page avatar, and this example is taken right from schema.org, and you wrap that word avatar in an H1 tag. What that tells the browser is to display that in a large text. It's the H1 font. That's what the page is about. However, avatar can really refer to a lot of things. It can refer to your little person on different websites that follows you around. It can refer to the movie. It can refer to Avatar: The Last Airbender. There are a lot of things that the word avatar can refer to. And what it's referring to really changes what searches that page is appropriate to return that information for. So where schema and microdata comes in is it is a type of markup language that then extends the functionality of HTML to tell the search bots like Bing, Google, Yahoo, any of those bots, what that page is about. So you just insert a tag inside the H1 that says that this is a movie title, and then they know that you're talking about the movie Avatar. So you can see how this can be very helpful with your search algorithms and for helping you rank for appropriate searches, but which of the massive library is the most important to have. So every business should really be using the schema around organization type. And what that's going to do is it's going to tag your logo, it's going to tag your type of business, and it's going to tag your business name so that when people are searching for this type of business near me, you can show up. There's also ones around address, which really does help a lot with local SEO and making sure that you show up in the correct radius. Some of the other schema really depends on what your company does. If you are hosting a lot of events, there is event schema. And you can think of that in terms of when you're searching movie times at local theaters. A lot of times in the search results, you will see a list of the next showings. That's all tagged with schema so that it can be pulled in. The secondary purpose of schema is, in addition to telling the search engines what searches your page should show for, it also can pull some of that data out and show it directly in the search engine for knowledge graphs, or like I mentioned with the times, when people are searching for restaurants and things, having the open times tagged correctly helps there. It also helps when people are doing product searches. So if you run e-commerce and you use schema to tag your products, then on the shopping tab below all of the paid promotion spots, your items can show up for relevant products that people are searching for. So it is a very powerful tool for getting all of that information across. So how do you implement it? If you are using a CMS system such as WordPress or Drupal that's self-hosted, there are plugins that help to extend functionality around that. A lot of plugins do have it built in if they are providing that functionality to you. WooCommerce, for instance, does use product schema in their output. And then Yoast SEO for WordPress also gives you the organization schema out of the box. The other thing is that if you are hand coding a site or if you are adjusting the themes, you can incorporate the schema there. Schema.org has the documentation on how to get started and how to check it. It's a really great, powerful tool. Also, in the future, I will be doing a more in-depth course on how to use schema for your SEO over at the Byte Size Academy. So keep an eye out for that. We do touch on it briefly in the SEO Beginner's Guide that is available on the Academy now. Another thing that schema is very useful for that not a lot of people think about is for providing missing information. So search engines aren't great at combing through images and really figuring out what is inside of images, and screen readers rely heavily on the alt text. I mentioned in our SEO course that if you are filling out the alt text, your primary focus should be on making it an actual description of the picture for a screen reader. But if there is relevant information in there that is not otherwise available on the page, that would lead a search engine to be likely to rank your site higher for a specific search, Schema and Microdata is a great way to capture that information and display it for the search engines. So for instance, one of the examples is, let's say that you have reviews on your site. So there is reviews schema available. But if you're using an image to display how many stars someone gave you because you've used a really stylized like testimonial graphic, you can actually put in with schema how many stars that person gave you and details about the review that might otherwise be captured inside of the picture and not available to the search engines. Also, once again, with contextualizing that information, even if you did put 5-star image in the alt text, the search engine might not realize that that is connected to reviews. So that is a really great use of schema. And then the last thing to go over is there is a lot of microdata and schema options available out there, and it does vary a lot from industry to industry. So there's healthcare specific ones, even as the COVID-19 barrels on, there are specific schemas for your policies and health precautions related specifically to that, so that can be displayed in the knowledge graph. Now, I do want to discuss briefly the knowledge graph and how that impacts your search results. There are people who are uncomfortable with their information being pulled into the knowledge graph because they think that that will lower their click-throughs, where that is not the case. If that information is all someone needs from you, then you might not get a click for that specific search. However, your content being displayed in the knowledge graph is an increase in trust factor. So it's not always a bad thing, or even often a bad thing for you to be displayed there. If you are constantly for that industry being displayed in the knowledge graph, it kind of builds up that trust that it is good and kind of proved information from a Google standpoint, even if that is not always actually the case. It's just a subtle thing psychologically that will make people kind of click on you to return to you for other services and things. So don't be afraid of using schema or that your stuff will end up in the knowledge graph. It really will help you in the long run. And then also with search results, when you have schema in there, it makes it easier to do multiple pages being returned from your site. So you can do page links that come up in the search results without paying for it using schema, and that extra real estate can really help you with click-through rates too. So all in all, while schema seems very overwhelming at first when you get into it, there are plugins, or you can reach out to a developer that will make it easier, and it is in the long run really beneficial for you and your SEO to make sure that you are incorporating it. If you have any other questions about schema, please feel free to put them in the comments below or reach out to me at aj@bytesizedigital.com. I'd be happy to do follow-up episodes on that, or check out our SEO for beginners to find out more about schema there. All right, thank you. I hope you have a great day.